Of course, asshole. Right,
just figure what the hell.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I saw it twice, and I'm glad you didn't text me. I waited till I took the day off, and then I waited till the morning. I saw the first showing in the morning, and I'm glad I did because it was in theater number 1, which is the biggest. And I haven't been in theater number 1 forever, so I was actually surprised. But it was so early that it was like half full, which was great.
That would be fantastic.
So I got to sit there, and then I had a lot of space. Not going to notice anybody. Perfect viewing, so I could just enjoy the movie. Because when I went and saw it later, I was in a smaller theater. It was full, and there's just, every bad thing that you could think that was going to happen. I felt really bad for Austin, who I went and saw it with.
Because he didn't see it before.
He hadn't seen it. It was his first time, and he had to watch it while experiencing all this BS going on. You had kids who were like reading everything that was on the screen and
like
talking and giggling out loud, like right behind us. Then you had 2 couples that brought babies that were like.
Okay, see, that's what I was gonna say because it's really funny you mentioned that because I got spoiled. The first showing that I saw, I went to Chicago to see it, and the theater we went to was not stadium seating. It was just a flat room. But all the seats are recliners. Like big recliners with a table next to you. And
really?
It was, we were spoiled. It was like being in somebody's living room. It was so comfortable and so perfect. And the first showing, it was 8:30, so it was the first showing. But because of that theater, you can't cram that many people into it anyway. Right. And it was full, but everybody who was there was us wanted to see it and was just going to shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
That's why I thought it was going to be the whole time.
Hope so.
You would think.
But no, that's what's funny because we saw it that night and that was an amazing first experience. We got it 3D the first time. We didn't know it was 3D.
I got you.
And I'm not a big fan of 3D, but whatever.
Only if it's actually filmed completely in 3D. Which makes me... Because Infinity War is going to be all IMAX 3D. IMAX.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
know. But
sounds cool.
The second showing we went to, because we got back to Ed's apartment, and the first thing we did, he opened up his computer and we bought tickets for the showing the next morning at 11:30 or something. I went to that, and it was the same theater and the same, different theater, but same, recliners and just nice and everything, but yeah, there were kids there, and I didn't hear it as bad as Ed did. I got it from across the theater, this dumb little kid just spouting. I can't even remember what it was, but he would just spout off nonsense out of nowhere. But Ed said there was a kid next to him, a little kid, that just anytime Ultron came on the screen, the kid would go, "Dad, Ultron." And loud, at
loudly
speaking voice, and everything. And I remember the last half hour, 15 minutes of the movie, that kid was just doing the running around with his arms out, doing little kid things in the aisle, and it was that's also the thing that kills me too about these movies now. And I'm perfectly fine with this, but they're not geared for kids anymore at all.
I know I had that conversation with somebody who I work with who wanted to take her 4-year-old to see it. And when she first said that, I was like, please don't take your 4-year-old because I'm thinking about everybody else.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know your kid. I don't know how trained he is. He might really love it and enjoy it. 4-year-old. I know myself and 4 and 5. I would not bring my 4 or 5-year-old. I would wait and do it. But I'm like... I was like, but she was asking about content wise.
Well, the first word of the movie is shit.
Right.
If that gives you anything.
It's true. It's true. And I was like, it's fine. I mean, but I wouldn't I was like, you can go, but
they're not geared for kids anymore.
No, they're not. But the comics aren't either. That's the best part.
I know. But that's the funny stigma that will always be with superheroes and comic books.
Yeah, they're supposed to be for kids.
It's supposed to be kids, and they're not at all. It's been so long since they have been. That's why if you go to a comic shop, there's a completely separate rack that in every shop that's labeled comics for kids because they don't exist anymore.
I know, that's why the Titans Go type shows and stuff like that exist.
Yep.
You have to have that because technically they're supposed to be for kids, but they're not for kids.
When you think about it, it's been a long time since comics are because we were talking about that shit, what was it called? It was an Avengers storyline. It was one of the big events that you and I both read it and were like, what the fuck did we just read? The big sprawling space battle. You know what I'm talking about.
I probably do. It was Annihilation or?
No, it was like more recent than that.
Giant space. The Infinity War. Infinite. War.
It was just called. Oh, it's just called Infinity.
Yeah, the Infinity, where you go through and the first 4 pages is like reading a novel. There's no artwork and it's all just dialogue of Tony Stark and Reed Richards explaining shit.
And the story structure was so weird.
It was so terrible. It was like.
I don't know. That story just lost me. I read the whole thing and I still can't tell you what it was about.
I didn't get past the first comic. Yeah. I still want to read it because, Infinity. I mean, it had Thanos.
It had some really cool Thor parts that you would enjoy.
I'm sure it did.
Speaking of unworthy, the whole hammer scene.
Yep. Which one?
The first one. Let's start at the beginning. I love that Steve was able to move it just a little bit.
Yeah, I like that he nudged it. And my favorite part is the face that...
No, just...
His reaction is like... It's the best reaction.
Oh, no, he's perfect.
Right.
The
fake laugh.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's perfect.
Because in the comics, he's one of the only people that can...
Yeah, that can actually do it, which I'm sure eventually he will.
Yeah, no doubt.
But...
The payoff for that was great in the movie. Which I'm sure confused a lot of people. Fuck, we'll jump to that right now. The Vision being able to pick up the hammer.
Well, did he pick it up?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Absolutely.
Sure about that?
Yes. Why? What is your take on it?
He has phasing powers.
No, I'm not buying that. I'm picking.
You're not buying the fact that he could just phase that through anything and make the density whatever?
Nope. Because in that movie, I think they were going for the idea that he's brand new. He's a pure being.
So he's not corrupted yet, so he is worthy?
Entirely uncorrupted. He is absolutely worthy to pick up the hammer. That's what I took out of it.
It's a good discussion point.
Yeah.
I still like mine that he phased it through.
Yeah,
but I do like that idea as well.
That's how I took it, but because I felt like that's kind of what he was saying at the end when him and Ultron were talking.
Because Thor's stupid enough to believe that.
What?
That he could pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That he's worthy.
Yeah.
Because that's the way that Thor's character's always. He's just not very bright.
Put it in an elevator. Elevator goes up. Elevator's not worthy.
See, that's the stuff I'm going to miss now that Joss Whedon isn't.
I know.
Like, a lot of people don't like those little quote things, but I'm going to miss that kind of stuff.
The people that are getting pissed off at at Joss Whedon for his Whedonisms, just shut the hell up.
Shouldn't be pissed off.
Like, I knew right when I saw it,
Everybody has their own opinion.
What?
Everybody has their own
Everybody's
opinion.
entitled to their own opinion, but the way I look at these movies is they're just so much fun. I don't see the point in...
This is true.
Bitching about them.
It is true. It's nice to see, because a lot of their own movies are a little bit more darker, a little bit more realistic life, things happening and shit. So
yeah,
it's nice to see that when they get together, it's just like a big party.
Exactly.
Even though the world's coming to an end and terribleness is going on around them, they still know how to have fun and enjoy their jobs.
One thing I read that just killed me was somebody said, I just hate all the one-liners and how they talk to each other while they're fighting. I'm like, have you ever read a comic book? Like, that's how it is.
Probably not. That's the problem. He's probably only gotten into it because of the movies. I work with people like that.
Yeah.
They've never read the comics, but they like the characters and they like it because of the movies.
Yep.
Which the movies then makes them go and read the comics. And they don't like reading, so they go back to the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they go, okay, well, I want something else, so then I move them to cartoon shows or
something else they can
movies
watch
that they can watch because they're not gonna.
But that's always been such a big part of the comics that to the point where they make fun of it is how they're always the mid-fight banter.
Oh, yeah.
That's always been there, and that's why I love those Avengers movies because Joss Whedon just lays that on. They're making jokes in the heat of the moment,
right? Like on the boat, and it's like, oh right, yeah. So I'm just, and Ultron's just like. Yeah, I'm just going to explain to you my evil plan right now.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Hawkeye, even though we'll get into the whole Hawkeye storyline, But he had some of the best lines in that movie. My favorite one, seriously, I keep coming back to it. When I first saw it, I just laughed and ha ha ha. But the second time, I was like, "That's genius." Is the city's flying, we're fighting robots, and I've got a bow and arrow. None of this makes any sense.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. And it's perfect Hawkeye.
Oh, God.
That's part about it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It was nice to see that he got his due. The problem was I thought that they were doing it so that it would make it more tragic when they killed him.
See, I didn't buy that for a minute because we were halfway through the whole Hawkeye has a family, and you know, it was right when he said that line. He's like, "I'll finish the whatever when I get back." No, last project, I promise. I was like, he's not gonna die. They just made me care about him way too much, and I know Joss Whedon, and he's not gonna die. Somebody else is gonna die, but he wants us to be watching Hawkeye,
right? Waiting
for Hawkeye to die,
right?
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I caught that, but it was. I mean, if you like the Matt Fraction Hawkeye, that's not a thing that's ever going to exist,
right?
In those movies, but I thought they did it great.
It was good. It was finally showed him the way that he's supposed to be. He's the guy that holds them together.
Yes, exactly. He's the one of them who is actually the most human, who is actually just a human, who's good at what he does.
Right. Yeah. True.
And I knew right when I saw it that the whole Bruce Banner Black Widow romance was going to piss people off.
It actually wasn't bad.
I liked it. I was all about it.
It wasn't terrible. It's a weird interpretation of a relationship.
Yeah.
If you go back to the very first thing, I mean, it starts out. I mean, it's a little strange, but. It was okay. The only thing that I got mad about was at the end, when the Hulk's in the Quinjet.
I knew you would.
And he controlling the Quinjet as the Hulk. He's not mad. He's actually quite docile.
Sad Hulk.
Right.
Yeah.
But when he's not mad,
he turns back into Bruce Banner.
Right. He should have turned back.
Well, maybe he was really mad.
Fighting anything anymore.
Maybe he was pissed. Well, no, there's not much to say about that beginning fight scene. It looked like a comic book. It felt like a comic book. It set everything up you needed.
It was perfect. The fighting scenes were awesome.
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were great, I thought.
Yeah. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, which was, yeah.
I didn't like how arrogant he was, because that's kind of how he is. So, the bar scene.
Oh, the party?
The party scene.
No, I was just going to say there's a lot. I thought there was a lot to take away from that, because it was something I didn't realize at all. It took thinking about the movie later to think about this when all the veterans are there partying with everybody.
Yep. All the Captain America's friends.
That's what I didn't think about that when I was watching it. It was like, hey, who are we inviting to the party? And Steve's like, well, call up my buddies. And they're all old World War II veterans. That's fantastic.
My favorite part was Thor's flask of aged 1,000 years.
Yes.
And my favorite part about it is it's a never-ending magical flask.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the thing's only like this big. It's like,
and he poured it how many times?
Yeah, poured it for everybody because it's a magical flask that takes from Asgard.
That's cool.
It's like having a brewery in your pocket at all times.
Didn't even think about that. That's fantastic.
And I think I saw that in a comic once. So
that sounds familiar.
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
James Spader. Right when I heard his voice. Because I wasn't sure what to expect. Like, I'd seen the trailers and everything, but I was like...
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be like.
It was perfect, though. It was fantastic. I love that he gave Ultron kind of like a childishness.
Oh, yeah. And the best part about it was... It's the only thing that I'll give credit for that I'm happy that Disney owns Marvel so that they could use the Pinocchio references. I like
the way Joss Whedon writes it, like the places where he's completely loyal to the comics and the things he chooses to deviate. You know? Because he chooses the right things to deviate from that make the story better.
He's a good writer. That's why I'm mad he's gone, though.
I know. Isn't it so funny we're talking about this now and cut to just not that long ago how excited we were.
That he was going to be doing
That he was going to be doing the Avengers? Yeah.
I was excited when I heard that he was going to be he was the content manager. He just went around and fixed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was the go-to to fix everything. I thought that was awesome. But
I can't really blame him for wanting to be done. Like,
from some of the stories that I've heard him talk about.
See, this is what I don't know much about, so I want to hear.
He was battling with Marvel executives like over petty stuff, constantly, and then like they were treating him poorly, like when they were trying to get Spider-Man and Carol Danvers into, he wanted to have them in the movie at the end of the movie at the new Avengers facility.
Oh, okay.
And he tried to, and he knew that Sony was positioned, like before they even filmed it, was talking to Marvel about getting Spider-Man back.
Right.
So he knew that it was on the table as a possibility, and he told them that he wanted him to be at the end of the movie.
Which would have been perfect.
Right. And he knew that they were talking about Captain Marvel movie at the same time, so he told them that he would, hopefully, you can fast track this, so we can get them to show up. And they waited and waited and waited, and the movie got filmed, and as soon as he submitted his final cut, then the executives came and go, hey, by the way, we've got, the rights, the Spider-Man. He's like, well, thanks a lot. I just submitted my final cut. Like, you couldn't have told me this like a week so that I could just keep it open and before I submit the final cut?
That's weird.
I thought that there was like like a slight to him. Like, it's like, but he was battling, like they wanted to take the whole Hawkeye farm scene out.
Seriously?
Yeah, they wanted to remove it.
Because it was just too... I can see how an executive would say, oh, it just slows the movie down.
Yeah, it just slows the movie down.
They're all dressed like dads.
Yep.
Yeah, but
stuff like that, yeah.
That made perfect sense.
Yeah. It humanized them a little bit.
You know what it did remind me of, though? Like, while I was watching it the first time, it reminded me of the scene in the Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, where they
go to the farm scene. They go to April's farm.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
But it worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah, it was needed. There was so much going on. Some of those fight scenes, like fast cutting, it was nice to, settle your eyes down for a bit.
But God, now that you mention that though, that was something that I felt was missing at the end of the new Avengers scene when they're like, showing the new recruits.
Well, yeah, they panned out so much that you could easily have digitized anybody in there.
But then they show them, and it's War Machine, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, and Vision. Okay, we've already seen all four of them. Give us somebody I was hoping
new. Right.
I was hoping somebody we have never seen before would be there.
Right, and that's what everybody wanted. And that's what he wanted to do, but they wouldn't.
Which would have made perfect sense.
Oh yeah,
that's so disappointing.
They're leaving that for Captain America now.
Yeah, but they're.
Well, there's a lot of stuff they could have done, and now I'm hearing that there's 2 Infinity Gauntlets.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Like, there's going to be a good and an evil one.
Oh, fuck that. No, I don't want that.
Because I thought, when I saw Thanos grabbing, that Loki had let him into Odin's war room to get the Infinity Gauntlet, because it is in Odin's...
And that's what it looked like with we've seen those gates before.
Yeah, the gates with the destroyer armor.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I was like, oh, Loki... because Loki's been working with or for Thanos.
Yep.
That, he just let him in.
Yeah.
But Kevin, the producer, Feige...
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, Feige said that no, that wasn't Odin's war room.
But it looked just like it. Now that you've mentioned it, it looked just like it.
No, apparently Thanos has his own gauntlet.
I'm just going to ignore that for now and see how it turns out.
And that was a little disappointing. I like my idea.
I like your way much better, because they've already got Loki in place to do that.
Oh, yeah.
He's posing as Odin.
Uh-huh.
Now, here's something. Let me get my theory out real quick, because this is something I've been wanting to talk to you about, because I know you're going to have your absolute own thoughts about it. But let me just spit all of this out.
It's cool.
Because then I know you're going to come back at me. When they were all having their visions, it wasn't necessarily their greatest fears, but it was like bringing something out in them that affected them. Like Black Widow was reliving her past in the Red Room and how she became the Black Widow. Steve was basically it was a representation of being a man out of time, going back to there. And
what it would have been like outside of the war if he came back.
Well, not just that, but like all of a sudden in the middle of that, everybody's laughing and blood's coming out of them and they're dying, and Peggy's like, how about that dance? And then they all disappear and he's just standing there alone, you know? And, you know, so that obviously Widow is reliving something. Steve is just kind of in this world that's representing all of his insecurities about who he is. Thor, I don't think, like, I know they're like, oh, it was a vision. He even went to that weird underground lake to go back there and see how it all turned out and all that. But everything about it, I was like, that is Ragnarok. Like, Heimdall's blind, that happens in Ragnarok. It's the crazy Asgardian orgy that's happening. Like, and Heimdall's like, you abandoned us, Odinson. Or whatever he said.
That's true. That's what he said.
And everything about it, I was like...
You killed us.
You killed us, Odinson. And I was like, I don't think... like, and I could be totally wrong, but I was like, I don't think that was a vision. I think that's happening in Asgard.
Oh, like right now?
Right now. And he's gonna... you know, when he leaves at the end, like, that's what he's coming home to, is, like, the end times.
Yeah. That easily could be.
Yeah.
It's true.
And even if it was a vision, like, maybe it was just a premonition,
of
things to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Easily. The thing with the lake in the cave that they didn't really explain, like, I'm glad I listened to... It was one of the other things I picked up after listening to Whedon talk about things that he battled executives with. Because they battled to have that scene in there, but yet it got cut in half. The scene was supposed to take longer.
I was going to say, because that felt like half of it. That actually felt like half of a scene.
Right. He was supposed to go to Asgard, and he was supposed to find the Norns.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He goes there, finds the Norns, tells them about the pool, the magical pool, and then when he goes into the water, the Norns are supposed to be possessing him. And then
that would have been so cool.
The doctor guy is supposed to be interpreting and asking the Norns the questions who are embodying Thor. But it got cut because the executives didn't like the way that it looked. They showed it to people and it didn't test well. They didn't like the way that it looked in the movies. The audiences did. So the executives told them to cut it.
And now you can understand why that scene, once it showed the 4 Infinity Gems that we've seen already, then they're like, okay, cut the scene, it's done.
Right. But they kept a little bit of it in there because the executives wanted Chris Hemsworth without a shirt on.
Okay, it's all coming together. Yeah. It was nice, because I remember how exciting it was, that first scene in the first Avengers, when the 3 of them fight in the woods. You know, it's Iron Man and Thor, and then Steve comes and breaks it up.
I liked in the beginning of this movie where they're just, you know, they're fighting together. And like, like Thor and Captain America have this, like, we're great teammates. Like, this is awesome. They know how to do all this stuff.
Well, it looks like they're lining up. Well, they're excited.
Right. Boom. Shit that just happens all the time. You know, Cap throwing his shield and Thor just hitting it and having it fly all over the place. Like, shit they just do all the time. It was nice, you know,
showing the team has grown together. And
right, like this isn't their first rodeo anymore. They've been doing this for a while. But that, you know, so that's the type of the Captain America fight scenes in this movie. Were awesome. They were so great.
This was my favorite version of Captain America to date. Yeah. Seriously,
because I love the first Captain America movie, but as like a story and everything, it was great. It was perfect, except for the fight scenes were terrible.
I remember you saying that.
And so
I don't remember it well enough.
I'm super glad that, you know, and they got better in Winter Soldier, and then they were still a little hesitant in the Avengers, and then the Winter Soldier got a little bit better, and then this one now that's the Captain America that I always wanted to see.
The Winter Soldier
throw his shield, 8 guys, hit a tree, grab it on the motorcycle, and then keep going. Like, that's fantastic.
How long was that opening tracking shot? Or I don't even know if it's a tracking shot, but that opening shot. Like with I mean, obviously there were effects and everything.
Right, yeah, but it went through and went everything, and then it ended with all of them jumping through over that tree at the same time. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty awesome.
That's the thing that still gets me. That's why I can't, like, honestly complain about this music. What we're doing, just picking it apart, that's fun. But the reason I cannot honestly complain about this is because an opening scene like that, when I'm sitting there, I'm going, I'm actually seeing this.
Right, yeah.
This exists.
It's something I thought I'd never see, and
Exactly.
Right. And it was cool to see that kind of stuff in the first Avengers movie, but the action scenes in this one were so much better.
So much better.
It's like Whedon learned how to control everything. It's really nice to see.
Oh, so good. Yeah. What did you think of the Vision?
He's the Vision.
He was perfect.
Right. The only thing that gives me pause is the fact that he has the mind gem in his forehead.
I'm going to go with it, though. It's a nice interpretation for the cinematic universe.
True, but somebody needs that gem in order to progress the story to go forward.
Yeah, the Vision's going to get killed bad by Thanos.
That's what I say. It's like, is he going to die?
He's going to get ripped in half by Thanos.
Is removing the gem going to kill him?
Okay, I wonder that as well. Because
does it power him? How much, or is it just part of him?
How connected is the Vision to the
Because
gem?
it sounded like Thor wanted to take it from him, and he could have taken it from him.
And then at the end decided to let him
have it. So it doesn't sound like it's like as one with him as you would think.
Because he's actually built of both Jarvis and Ultron.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like a combination. Some weird.
I thought he was
technology.
I just can't believe. Okay, there's another one. Just like I was saying about the opening scene, like can't believe I'm seeing this. Mm-hmm. When the Vision jumped out of the
oh yeah, the cocoon.
The cocoon or whatever they called it. And then he's hovering there, looking at his own reflection, and comes down. And the first time he speaks, I was just like, of all the characters ever in Marvel, like, and there's a lot that I know I'll never see, and so forth and so on. But I never thought they would do the Vision.
It's true.
How could you possibly get to the Vision?
Right, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, and they did it in a way that makes sense.
Well, they did kind of not really explain. They didn't explain how he could fly. They didn't explain.
They showed one time he phases through and rips apart.
Right. All like buddy of mine was complaining about all the fight scenes with the Vision were slow. He's like, it looked like it was taking him forever to rip that robot's heart out. And I'm like, well, because they didn't explain what it is that he could do. It's the first time you ever see him, so they have to do it slow so you can actually see what's going on. So in the next movie, he's just going to be doing shit because they don't have to show what he's doing. You just know that he's phasing through people and doing all this other thing. But they didn't explain how just because he's made out of a synthetic, organic vibranium thing with a super powerful mind gem in his forehead, how is it that he can fly?
Yes.
I posed the question of when he puts the cape on, because he looked at Thor and was like, oh, capes are cool. I'm going to have a Thor.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, is the cape actually there, or is it because he has control of the mind gem, he's making everybody think that he has a cape on?
Very possible.
Because how does he just make something out of nothingness?
Very true. So that probably that's where the mind gem comes into it. That he can
control his vibranium to create new things.
Yeah.
Like, they don't explain a lot, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, I'm absolutely fine. That's what I was going to say.
But you know, it was cool. Like, the Vision's great. I agree with you. I never thought that they would do it. And they made it work. They made it work, and that's exactly how the Vision was kind of made. You know, he was made to be another vessel for Ultron or one of his minions or something to create something, and it was cool to see that. But they do. The only thing is they do not like. If I didn't know what the Vision was, I'd probably be a little confused.
Oh, I've tried to put myself in those shoes because I like for you and I watching it, we know exactly who he is and what he can do, and so none of it's surprising us.
And that's the benefit of the cinematic universe. They know that people are going to be researching. They know that everybody's going to know it, so they don't have to explain anything anymore, which is nice.
But for somebody just sitting down and watching a movie, which those people exist.
Right. It might be a little bit confusing, but it's not going to take away from the overall action of the whole movie.
My dad and my stepmom saw it and texted me after, which this is so not their thing. Like, they go to these movies, not even the superhero movies, they go to movies on, you know, a Friday night just because that's what people do.
People do,
you know? Yeah. And so when they texted me out, they're like, oh, we saw that movie, it was really good. The action scenes were amazing. I wish we knew as much of the backstory as you do. I'm like, okay, first off, thanks for the backhanded way of saying you're a huge nerd. But then the other part of that...
It's not as bad as it used to be.
No, but then the other part of it was that people still go to see those movies who have no interest in watching all the movies that lead up to it, or reading the comics or anything. I'm still thrilled that they're making the movies more for us than they are for a general audience. People, that's probably a Joss Whedon thing that's going to go away now.
Well, it's just something that they realized that they could do going on. They didn't realize that the universe was going to work.
Yeah.
That's why, you go back and you watch some of those old movies. You watch all the movies, like, in a row. Like, if you had a marathon or something.
Which people have been doing.
Right. But if you did do that, you could see how dated some of these movies are because, they're all, like, they don't start... Not until Captain America do they start connecting them. I mean, they maybe one cameo in like one of the Iron Man movies or whatever, but they don't really connect them until they go, okay, now we're going to make a universe out of them.
Well, it did all start with, and I will never forget how I felt when this happened when I was sitting in the theater. It all started with Sam Jackson, I am Iron Man, right. And being all creepy in Tony Stark's house.
Oh yeah.
At the end of Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Right.
That was exciting.
But they didn't know if it was going to be able to work. Or
and the Avenger Initiative fell apart by the end of Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
It's true. Something else entirely.
Yeah, because that just goes back and forth on the executives. Probably one was saying, no, it's not possible, it can't happen. And then you got all this other faction saying, no, we're going to do this, we're going to make it work.
We're figuring it out. I mean, look at the...
they just had to... They didn't know if they could do it legally, so they had to get all the legal stuff done.
The post-credits scene in The Incredible Hulk makes no sense now.
It does. Now that Thunderbolt Ross is coming back, who do you think is going to be the pusher in Civil War?
Oh yeah,
to push to have people sanctioned and
he's going to be going, I told you this from the beginning.
Right, and who's his good friend back in the old days, the war days? Tony.
Yep.
So it's going to be It's going to be Ross and Tony against Captain America, who's now finally found a home at the end of this Avengers movie, somewhere where he feels at peace now that he's in this world that he's the man out of time. He finally finds what he's going to do for the rest of his life.
Yep.
And now somebody who's he considered a decent friend is going to come around and say, yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do this anymore. Oh my God, it's going to be so sad. And then he's going to die.
Probably.
I'm sure that they're letting us think that, and they might not kill him, but I think they're going to. I think they're going to kill Steve Rogers.
Well, they should. I mean, that's how it happened in the comics.
And they already set up Crossbones to be the guy that does it.
Yep. They set up Crossbones. They have Bucky there. They even have Falcon if they want to go that route.
Which I hope they don't.
If they do, they do.
I'd like to see the Bucky cap in the movies, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that if it goes the way that it goes, but who knows anymore if that's the way it's going to go. But,
it could be the Falcon.
I thought Hawkeye was going to be retired, but Hawkeye is going to be in Civil War.
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought he was done, but he'll be coming back. Which is funny because somebody who hasn't read the books was asking me about that after the end. They were like, so what side were like Thor and Hawkeye on? And I was like, they were both dead during Civil War.
It's true.
Well, Hawkeye wasn't dead, but he was like... No, because that was after House of M. He had come back, but he went nomad and went across the globe and let everybody think he was still dead and didn't come back until after Steve died.
Right.
Yeah. And then joined up with the Rogue Avengers.
Right. As that was when he was Ronin. Yeah. Yup, that's true.
But Thor was gone because that's when
he was dead.
Stark and Pym and Reed Richards built the Thor
Ragnarok.
Project Ragnarok.
Yeah, the Thor clone.
Yeah. Where does Ragnarok fall into the timeline of the movies coming up?
It's got to be happening now. It'll be between.
It's before Infinity War, but I think it's after Civil War.
Yeah, as a movie time frame, it's after Civil War, but I think it's supposed to be what's going on while Civil War is happening on Earth.
No, that makes sense. So he won't be there.
I don't think he'll be there because he's probably too occupied in what's going on up there.
I read this great article.
Which is going to be great for the Thor movie because it'll probably be the first Thor movie that takes place primarily all on
Asgard. Finally. Right. Or in Asgard. I don't know, Asgard like it's a planet.
Well, it's a realm.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm interested to see if they're going to bring Suter in.
Who?
The big flame demon
that
causes Ragnarok?
What about Balder?
Well, Balder doesn't exist.
Not yet.
He doesn't exist.
Not yet.
No.
Maybe.
He's not going to have a long-lost brother that he didn't know about.
He wasn't his long-lost brother for a long time. But Balder in Norse mythology is supposed to be his only destiny is to cause Ragnarok.
I know.
To bring about Ragnarok.
I know.
So they'll bring him in just for that movie.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
Balder was always in the continuing. He was never absent.
I know.
He's absent in all the movies.
But now that Loki is Odin, what if Thor gets back and they're like, oh, by the way, this is your brother that you never knew existed. And a series of events leads up to the end of Asgard.
I don't buy it. It's you can't just introduce a character like that just to cause something. That's just really bad writing.
Oh, it's terrible writing, but I bet I'm not putting it past them. There's so much Thor lore that they could still use.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention, who do you think is going to be the what do you think the focus is going to be of the second Guardians movie?
That I don't know.
I can't. I honestly can't imagine. Annihilus?
No way.
No, I don't think so either.
No, because they'd have to explain the negative zone,
and that doesn't exist in this universe.
But I don't know. They did go to nowhere. They just randomly talked about nowhere.
Yeah.
The skull
of a celestial, which is awesome that they actually brought in the Celestials.
Right, and then when they were showing the Power Stone and how much damage it did, it was a Celestial wielding it.
That's right.
Now, if they could actually get the rights to Galactus back, that would be amazing.
Oh, that's just made me... Yes. Oh, my God.
Because I know they've been talking about it, but I don't think they're going to get it because...
The Fantastic Four is coming back.
Well, and Fox and Marvel have been butting heads, or Disney. Fox and Disney have been butting heads over the Fantastic Four for the last couple of years.
How disappointing is that they're finally touching on all the space stuff with the Guardians and Thanos and all this stuff, and they can't use Galactus and the Silver Surfer
or the Skrulls.
Why can't they use the Skrulls part of the Fantastic Four deal?
Yep.
You're fucking kidding me. That's why there's
That's why there's no Skrulls. That's why it's only the
Chitauri
and the Chitauri. The Chitauri actually do exist.
Yeah, no, but even in the Ultimate Universe, they say the Chitauri are known by many names, one of which is Skrull.
Oh, see, I didn't.
They're the ultimate Skrulls.
I got you.
It's so annoying to me. Because I remember...
That's why they can't use Skrulls, because...
I know they were originally Fantastic
20th Century Fox owns the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom... Well, yeah. I'm just talking about the Fantastic Four type characters.
Seriously.
They own the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Namor, the Skrulls, Galactus, and the Silver Surfer.
God damn it.
All the best characters.
How did the Fantastic
I'm actually surprised that they don't own Black Panther or the Inhumans. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Those characters are all technically Fantastic Four.
The Inhumans, definitely. See, I'm okay with, the X-Men not being included in the cinematic universe. I feel like that would be too much.
Well, yeah, mutants, they mess with everything.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's weird having mutants in just the comic book.
No, I know. It confuses everything.
Right, they really should just be in their own realm.
And that's why I'm totally fine with that. And I don't even necessarily need the Fantastic Four in the cinematic universe. It would be cool, but I don't need them. The best villains in the Marvel Universe
are Fantastic Four villains, yeah. The fact that they don't have Doom and they don't have anybody. And
that's why they have to use Thanos and Ultron, and, Loki's great. Absolutely. They're doing great with what they have, but it's just, we've seen these villains. And
the fact that Fox is just dropping the ball.
Over and over again. Well, it's the same thing. It's I feel like they almost cursed the Fantastic Four way back when they made that one shitty movie just to keep the rights.
Yeah.
I feel like every Fantastic Four movie since has been just a replay of that.
I don't know. I don't mind, like, the second Fantastic Four movie.
You're talking about the one with Chris Evans?
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
Because they're just
like the comic books.
They're exactly what the Fantastic Four is.
I watched them again lately, and because they were made so long ago, the special effects don't hold up anymore. But they were good movies.
I think they're good comic book movies.
Yeah, they were great comic book.
I think they're great.
Old style comic book movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. You know, they had their problems, Galactus being a cloud, because at the time you couldn't have a celestial walking around. Mm-hmm. Guardians just blew that out of the water. Like
no shit. Yeah, like, nope, we did it. I'm still astonished. Like, that's the thing. We can talk about this all we want, but like, again, just go back to the thing with the Vision and all of this. These movies exist. We're actually talking about things like I remember when the Infinity Gauntlet was a thing that we knew about when we were kids, but the cartoon shows we watched wouldn't even touch that because it was so complicated and ridiculous. And we're never, of all the superhero movies, we'll never see Thanos. We'll never see any of this.
That's why I'm curious to see what they're going to allow the Infinity Gauntlet to do.
Same with the Scarlet Witch, which you were talking a lot about that leading up to it. And
what are they going to allow her to do? And they did a pretty good interpretation of what she could do. I mean, she essentially could... she hadn't really known how to control her powers yet, so she wasn't she could mind control people, she could confuse them with things but then she could also blow shit up.
They were kind of hinting towards the whole chaos magic portion of her abilities, which I kind of liked. I really liked. And cool. Oh my god, it's just at the end when when Quicksilver gets shot and they cut immediately to her just
exploding.
And I was like, House of M, and they're never going to do it. But that was the thought I had in my head. That's why the Scarlet Witch is so unbalanced and
right. Well, that's why I like that her powers. She's crazy because she can she can supposedly see two different universes. She can see what's supposed to happen, but then she's also seeing what's happening currently.
Or no, she can see what's happening and what could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where
she gets
lost.
So she's kind of crazy.
She doesn't know which one is real. Right. Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
Which is just awesome because that's what it's chaos magic. Mm-hmm. It's chaos. And you don't really know what's going on.
Talk about going a deep nod for comics fans. I guess if you looked into it, it's not a deep nod, but when she rips Ultron's heart out and the Vision comes up and grabs her and flies her away, immediately I flash to the fucking they get married. Yep. And it's the Avengers the entire time are against them getting married because they don't understand how can you marry an android? How can you fall in love with an android? And the Vision experiencing love for the first time.
It comes back to that whole thing, AI, to what point is he human? Is he not human? It's that relationship without having what a lot of people think is a human relationship. Mm-hmm. It's the same type of thing with the Hulk and Scarlet.
Oh, yep.
That relationship could have worked, but people are trying. They're focused too much on a certain part of relationships rather than the emotional connection between two people.
Yes, absolutely. There you go. Absolutely.
Right, and it could have easily worked.
I had a point to make and I completely forgot it because you just made so much sense with that. I think one of my favorite parts of the whole movie was the end with the Vision and Ultron talking, because it's two non-human life forms talking about humanity, and it's Ultron goes, they're doomed, and Vision's well, yes, of course they are. Yeah, I know that, but it doesn't mean it's not beautiful. Just the way he expressed himself in his thoughts about humanity.
I know that's perfect Whedon right there.
Oh, it absolutely was, and not just that. It was classic Whedon, but it summed up to me a part of the Marvel universe that has always been really special to me. Of it is, even if it's never been stated, and it has been stated, but it's kind of a subtle undercurrent that all these characters are constantly striving to better the world, and that's their only goal, their only focus. Like Tony Stark even says in the movie, like, is it
peace in our time? That's
peace in our time. Isn't the goal of the fight so that we never have to fight
again? Right.
And that's the whole thing, and it's never ending. And I loved hearing the Vision say that at the end. Like, he's not going to say this to any of them, but like, yes, that they're doomed, and the fight's never going to end.
Right.
But
I'm going to be here and experience all the best things about humanity
with them as one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to know what Paul Bettany thought when they called him up and they're like, so do you want to be in the movies after he's been in like 5 of them as a voice?
It's true.
He's like, yeah, what am I doing? They're like, well, we're going to paint you up and you're going to be mostly CG. I told you this before we even saw it. Like, when I saw the trailer, I was just astonished that he looks like the Vision. Yeah. They didn't try and like movie it up that much. Right. You know? He
looks like the Vision, but yet he still looks like Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
No, it is weird, but it's like, oh, that's what the Vision's face looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was not mad about it.
Years ago when that first movie came out, it was just like a very small conversation on the internet saying, like, oh, well, that's the Mind Stone. Right. And I was just like, oh, that'd be cool, but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
And then this movie, they crack it open, there's the Mind Stone. I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Right. You people are smarter than me.
I think a lot of it is just that I never thought they'd go this far.
Yeah, that's true. When they were just like when they first hinted at Thanos, I was like, "There's no way."
No, yeah.
There's no way. Mm-mm. There's no way. At the end of the Avengers, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Again, Joss Whedon, but giving the nod to court death.
Yeah.
And then show Thanos.
Thanos, right? It's perfect. It's one of those perfect writing type things. The only thing I'm disappointed with the Thanos thing is I like the way that he looked, just the side of his face. In that movie.
And then you see all of him in Guardians.
Right, and once they got an actor to portray him, because all he did was smile, they changed the way that he looked. They make him look more like Josh Brolin.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What year did Iron Man come out? That was like 2008?
2008, I think, was 2. So I think it was 2006.
Really?
Could be like
No, I think you're right. Oh, wait, I can find out real quick just by going over here. Because it came out on my birthday in 2008.
Nice.
I've never liked the ending. Not the ending. I've never liked the Obadiah Staines just becomes a villain because. Like, he has no real reason for it.
Greed.
Well, yeah, greed makes sense, but he goes from being a greedy businessman to, I'm going to put on a suit of armor and go crush part of the city in public, where I'm constantly showing my face.
Well, he wasn't trying to destroy the city; he was trying to destroy Tony. So that
but how did he go from a crafty businessman trying to do corporate espionage to a guy in a walking tank like that?
That's true. Comic books.
Yeah.
Comic books. That's how. Oh man.
Any last thoughts? Avengers.
I was really mad at the FaceTime with Captain America.
Oh shit! That's what I was gonna say. I thought of you multiple times during that movie.
Like, I'm really glad that when he fought Ultron, he had his mask on the whole time. But as soon as it got taken off, it's like, oh, we don't have a spare, so I have to go to the flying city without a mask on.
Yep, good point.
And then the whole rest of the half of the movie, I'm not gonna have a mask on.
The part that I thought of you was right when Tony Stark gets into the
and then he gets out of the suit.
He gets out of the suit. And goes,
I'm like, who's gonna go and investigate into a hidden room off to the side and not take their suit of armor? I'm gonna go into this room where I don't know what's gonna be down here, and I'm gonna leave the suit of armor down there and just walk around.
Yep.
Like, that was so stupid.
I thought your head must be exploding.
Like, I got him getting out of it to use the computer. Even though that could be explained. Just have Jarvis jump into the computer via Bluetooth or something.
Entirely, he did not need to get out of the suit for any of that.
Right.
At all.
Right. But if you had to have FaceTime just for that second of him getting out, the Sentry Mode thing, that was a neat concept.
Yep. Definitely.
But when you're going down a hidden tunnel without your suit, you don't have any powers whatsoever other than arrogance.
He's just telling himself that I am Iron Man.
Right.
Yeah, I am Iron Man. I loved it. Fucking loved it when everybody gets to the lab and Tony's like about to start up the Vision essentially, and Cap is like, no, are you serious?
We already did this.
Yeah, we just did this.
Yeah.
And I love even Bruce Banner going, I'm caught in a loop. I am
right.
stuck in a loop. But, and Cap throws his shield to, like, disconnect everything, and without missing a beat, Tony's just like, and the suit starts flying out, and he shoots Cap across the room.
Yeah, we're battling now.
Yeah, exactly. It was so
Didn't even have to think about it.
No, exactly. But I love that there was kind of like a... he was already expecting it. He already saw it.
Right.
Cap was going to do that, so he's like, fuck you, gets his gauntlet on,
he knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is everything stops as soon as Thor shows up.
Yeah.
And I love it because that's how it is in the comics.
Yep.
Shit's going on, stuff's going on.
Egos are flying.
Yeah, Thor's not around. The minute Thor shows up...
Decision's been made, and it's Thor.
It's done, yeah.
Yep.
You don't question it. Well, what happens, that's where you go with. Like, when he decided that the Vision was going to have the Mind Gem, Thor decided it.
Yep, and that's the way it's going to be.
This is the way it is.
Even when the Vision...
You guys can't do anything.
Yeah. Like, totally. And even the Vision just floating there in the window, and Cap's like, about to throw the shield.
Yeah, they were all about to fight, and
Thor's just
like, stop him.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I got
just
this.
wait.
Wait for it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, whatever, like, that's what I love about it, because he's so powerful, and like, everyone knows that he does everything for the greater good, that they all just trust anything that he does. Plus, what are you going to do anyway?
But no, also about Captain America, because you were saying, like, it's my favorite iteration I've seen of Captain America so far. It wasn't just because of how awesome the action was and finally seeing S.H.I.E.L.D. work the way you want to see it.
Well, yeah, it's finally having Captain America realize where his role is in the universe.
That was a big part to me. Like at the end, when he's like that, he says to Tony, he's like, "No, that guy went in the ice, and I don't think he came back out." I'm like, "Fuck yes, it's Captain America."
Yep.
But also, it was like I didn't like kind of some parts of the costume, like the red around the star and stuff.
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
But he was finally wearing the helmet mask that didn't make him look like a fucking Ninja Turtle or somebody in a rubber suit. Yep. It was like I liked that costume because it was a nice blend of both the soldier's uniform and an actual costume. Right,
because I thought his costume in the first Avengers was way too slick and
it looked fake.
Yeah, it just looked fake. And then the other one, he had the 1930s Captain America.
The 40s, like World War II.
War II uniform, which was puffy, almost looked like a football player.
And it was just too much, like
right.
That.
And he wore that again in Winter Soldier.
Yep, and that I didn't like that then either.
And so it was nice to see, because it was a nice
middle ground.
Yeah, because it kind of had it looked like it could be body armor, but then.
It looked functional and still looked like a costume.
Right, kind of looked like a bat suit.
Yeah,
one of the newer versions of the Batman.
That's a good call.
It's possible. I like that Ultron, when he first got built, was in the body of Iron.
One of the
Iron Legion, but it was Iron Legion number 5. Because Ultron started as Ultron 5.
It was number 5. I did not notice that. That's really good.
And when the twins found him in the church, he had the red cloak over top of him because when he first became Ultron, he was the Crimson Cloak.
That's right. Oh my God, that's right.
It's little subtle things like that. I was like, ooh, that's awesome.
You just made me. I'm gonna miss Joss Whedon so much.
Yeah. So those little subtlety things, it just kills me.
There's something that would be cool that is not going to happen, but would be a really cool thing. Is in Civil War when they're taking Daredevil to the prison, and Tony Stark's there talking to him as they're walking down the thing. They got Daredevil in shackles and they're taking him down. And
it sounds like they're going to be in Civil War.
Okay, see, this is what I'm getting to because I'm like I'm not sure if they're going to do that or not, but they have this great one where he spits out a piece of silver and spits it at Tony Stark, and he's like, "What's this?" And I'm not going to get my biblical reference right, but he goes, "Now you have X number of pieces of silver, huh, Judas?"
Right.
And before they put Murdoch away, I was like,
"Yep,
that'd be really cool to see in a movie."
Yeah. Anything's possible.
It is now.
There's gonna be so much going on in the Civil War movie. If any movie needs to be 2 movies, I think Civil War should have been 2 movies.
No, God, absolutely.
Because that's the only thing is because Whedon was talking about how difficult it was to juggle the heroes that he had, the amount of characters that he had in the Ultron movie.
Not to mention introducing a brand new protagonist in the last half hour.
Right. Yeah. And so, and now you have a movie that essentially has every character in the universe in it.
No shit!
And how are you supposed to juggle that? Even if it is, half of them might be just mentioned or shown once or just cameos.
It better be like a 3-hour movie. If it's not 2 movies, it's a 3-hour movie.
Well, Ultron, there is a 195-minute cut of Ultron.
And that's coming out on DVD, right?
I think so,
yeah.
Which should have the extended cave scene. I think more farmhouse stuff and more action scenes, I believe.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Anything's possible. So
if you're a fan of the Ultimate Comics and you has gotten really like depressed seeing Hawkeye's family, is the first thing you think is like, they're all gonna die. I'm so glad because I was saying last time again we hung out. I was always like, Hawkeye's my favorite superhero, and
I thought of you immediately when they started explaining Hawkeye's stuff. I'm like, man, I wanted to talk to you about it. I was like, he's getting his wish.
I know, I got my wish.
Talking about Hawkeye, and they're actually giving him a backstory because he doesn't have a movie, so you have to give him a backstory.
They're giving a backstory. He's making jokes. That was my big thing. I was like, I want him to make jokes. Like when Quicksilver goes away at that point, and he just goes,
"I could kill you, and nobody would know."
Nobody would know.
Yep.
I was like, yes, it's so good.
And then Shield's back. Cool.
Or at least the helicarrier's back. Do you watch Agents of Shield?
I still need to play catch up.
Okay, I'm almost caught up. I'm still a few behind, but I skipped ahead and watched the episode before the movie, because it aired the night before the movie came out. So I watched that one.
It's cool that some of the characters that were in that show showed up in that movie.
Well, and what was cool, the episode wasn't really about the events of the movie. It's kind of, but it was kind of cool because at the end of the episode, it was them, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., their team, that tracked down the scepter and found out where it was.
Right.
And then Coulson is the one that makes the call going, all right, enact Operation Theta. And what's that? We're calling in the Avengers. And then you go to the movie and they're going to the place where the scepter is that Coulson just found out about. Yeah. Right. They're doing some spin-off. I don't care about the DC shows. I really don't.
Well, no, they're failing. They've always been failing.
The Flash and
it's bad. They want something that's going to rival the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they're already behind, and they're doing it in a bad job.
They're doing it in such a bad way
because they're making their own television universe, which is going to be separate than the movie universe,
which is dumb.
Make any sense?
No, it makes no sense at all.
Because now they're using the cinematic universe thing, where you have to watch everything, otherwise you're going to miss something.
Yep.
And you won't have as fulfilling of an experience if you don't watch everything.
That's why it's such a fun movie viewing experience, because you're not just watching the movie, you feel like you're in on something.
Right, you're watching a very, very expensive television series.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. That is a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to hit stop recording.
All right, man.
Because I think
good time.
I don't even know how long. Oh, wow, yeah, we went well over. Hour 45. Yeah.
We can cut some stuff out.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fine. And, as usual, Eric, play us out.